Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to today's video. I wanted to talk a little bit more about Unchained. I know that it got kind of massacred on the latest ban list, but I do think the deck is still really strong. If you guys watched my latest video, I kind of read over the Phantom Nightmare set list. And one of the cards that I came across was a card called, not this Big Bang card, Berserk Archfiend. But before we get into the rest of the video and talking more about Unchained and Berserk Archfiend, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about Unchained's viability in the upcoming meta. And of course, don't forget to check out my sponsor, txs1.com, and use pack10 for 10% off. They have the winter bundle at the moment, which is absolutely insane deck boxes and all that good stuff. And also don't forget to check out Sleeve Chiefs, sleevechiefs.de, and use pack 5 for 5% off. But let's get into the rest of the video and let me talk about Berserk Archfiend and what it means for Unchained. Okay, so as you guys know, in the latest Forbidden Limited list, Unchained had a severe hit, which puts Shavara, one of the strongest cards in the newest set, at 1. One of the replacements that I found that I think could be really interesting is Berserk Archfiend. This is a Dark Fiend level 6 monster that reads the following, right? You can target up to 2 face-up monsters you control, including a Fiend monster, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, destroy those monsters. The most important part about this, it says up to 2 monsters, so you don't need to pop 2 exactly, which is nice. And the other cool part about this, if you read the PSET of the following card, it says special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, destroy those monsters. A really cool interaction that this implies is that you can go normal summon Rakea, go like let's say you go Shavara, Chillink, you go Berserk Archfiend, Chillink 1, target the Rakea on the board. You can go Chillink 2, Shavara, target the same monster that Berserk Archfiend targets, and Shavara would summon itself, destroying the monster, and then Berserk Archfiend, even though it did not destroy the monster, would still summon itself because of the PSET, and for it to resolve as much as possible, will apply the effect to still summon this card from your hand, even if it does not destroy those monsters. And then you would trigger the Unchained monster in the graveyard, right? So pretty neat, some cool implications there. So like, let's say you're going second into a board, you normal summon Rakea, your opponent goes, you go Berserk Archfiend, target Rakea, your opponent goes Chain SP, target the monster, and they try to blink your monster out, you would still summon the Archfiend, which I think is pretty neat. And then the second effect is, might not be as relevant, but might come up going second. So when a monster is destroyed by this card's first effect, you can target an equal number of face-up monsters your opponent controls to give this card attack goes to those monsters' total original attack until the end of the turn, which effectively means whatever it targets, it's able to beat over because it would gain that much attack. So this theoretically can threaten like an Appaloosa that's at 2400, for example, maybe, or maybe like attacks over a friend here. I don't know, like it just has the ability to gain that attack, so it might come up going second for you. But yeah, I decided to kind of look more into this card and see if you can do Unchained combos with this. So I kind of just did like a test hand with Berserk Archfiend and basically any Unchained monster. So let me show you guys a quick combo with this card. Right here, you're gonna see me. I mean, this is actually my starting hand, which actually would combo, which is kind of clean, where like you would go Aruha, target pop chamber. If your opponent ashes the chamber, then you go Berserk Archfiend, pop the Aruha, and you would full combo from there. But for the sake of this argument, let's take a 2-card combo with Berserk Archfiend and Rakea. Okay, there's gonna be a bunch more combos that you can definitely do, but I kind of want to show off just a regular 2-card combo with a deck, and afterwards we can maybe do a deck profile and talk a little bit more about it. But first, we're gonna do Berserk Archfiend, pop Rakea, and then summon your one of Shavara. We're then gonna make a Yama and then trigger both Shavara and Yama here. This will add you an Aruha, and then the Shavara will set you either chamber or escape. For the sake of this video, I'm going to show off setting chamber, but you can actually decide between the two. From here, we're going to summon the Sarama, and then use Sarama's effect to set back the trap, and then pop the Aruha. Here, we can then use Aruha's effect to summon the Shayama, and then link both of these off into the Soul Rage. We can then use the effect of Shayama to then pop the Soul Rage, which then triggers the Soul Rage to add back your one of Shavara back to your hand. And then you can use the Shavara's effect to pop the Sarama, because you haven't used the hand effect of Shavara yet, to summon itself. And then you trigger Sarama to summon a Rakea from the deck. As you notice, I switched to playing more Rakeas because I think that with the upcoming meta into, let's say, like Fire Kings, for example, and then Labyrinth with lovely popping stuff, I do think that Morakea could actually be really, really good because of the fact that it's an Unchained monster that floats. And I know that, you know, people didn't really play Triple Rakea with Torgai and all this stuff, but I wanted to maybe go back a little bit, try to see, like, Triple Rakea. It's a little bit better into, like, going second, so, and a little bit better into hand trap, so I figured I'd give it a shot. I do think you can probably try to fit Torguide still, but I wanted to fit like Triple Rakea in, and still have a lot of room for non-engine. So you'll see the deck list after this combo, and I'll kind of like talk about it as well. But so yeah, anyways, so you summon another Rakea here, and then you would overlay these two for the Caesar, right? So it's important to note that you'll see that you can also have Escape here, and so it's still the same board. You still have the Caesar with the 2 negates. And then you still have Escape and then Chamber. I've always really liked, I know like a lot of people might try to like add Shavar back to the hand, all that good stuff, but I really like the fact that Shavar is underneath Caesar, because then you get value by, well, like you can go like, you know, Caesar, detach Shavara, set another back row. You can then use the Rakea to pop the new back row that's Shavara set to then summon a bomb, which is another interaction point, and then trigger the Yama to bring back the Rage, and then still have Escape live. But then you can also decide to like use Chamber if you want more, like, you know, more of that recovery. So the other cool part is that like if you do pop with like Escape, if you set Escape here, or even if you like pop anything else, you can use Yama to bring back Rage. Then Yama can then destroy the Rakea that you keep on the board as well. So I like multiple Rakeas. I think this is like pretty clean. You can use, like, if your opponent tries to like because we don't have Shavar in our hand anymore, I also like ending with a Rakea and a Caesar, because you can then use the Rakea to like pop the Caesar if they try to like Talon's Take, for example, or like do anything to your Caesar. I think the only issue with this end board is that it plays a little bit more into Super Poly, so that's something to be conscious of. So if you play into a deck that would have access or play Super Poly, then you probably should something else. But other than that, more often than not, I will go for Rakea. Okay, so that's like the only consideration that you should probably be cautious about when like, you know, setting up your end board, right? So let's go real quick into the deck profile. Okay, so a couple cool things I wanted to talk about. So I think the list that I'm on right now is playing more of the traps. The reason why is because I think that when you're on 3 Rakea that you see here, having more access to these trap cards give you a very versatile grind game. Like, you have infinite of these traps. You only have 1 Shavara now, so having these traps and hard drawing these trap cards becomes significantly better. And so that's kind of like the main reason why I think like having more of those is really, really strong. I would still play the Dark Contract with the Gate, because like when you're on triple Rakea, the Dark Contract with the Gate, being able to pop the Rakea, pop these like multiple traps in back row is like really, really strong. So I really like that. Triple Aruha, triple Rakea, Shavara, Shayama, Sarama, Soul. And then I'm on triple Berserk Archfiend because I like the fact that it's a level 6 Fiend monster. Well, being a Fiend is important because it makes Yama, but being a level 6 is even more important because when we go into like some considerations, the level 6 allows you to potentially make Beatrice. And Beatrice is very strong in the upcoming meta because of the fact that Transaction Rollback can copy any normal trap in the graveyard, right? So that's really, really nice. So I think the fact that this card is a level 6 is like really cool for the, like, you know, all the other stuff is pretty set. The 3 pot, 3 bomb, the non-engine slots relatively the same. But I wanted to talk about the fact that this card is very versatile and a lot better than people give it credit for, and definitely a card that you should probably play if you're gonna play Unchained, right, going forward, because of the fact that it also has the ability to make Beatrice. You can definitely take out one of the SPs and put the Beatrice in, so that's something to definitely think about. I'm on 2 SPs. I'm just been a fan of 2 SPs during the entire format, only because SP is just like so busted, and I find myself making 2 quite a lot, especially if I get Bistilled and stuff like that. But you can definitely get away with just 1, and then just play Beatrice over it. But anyway, so why is Beatrice kind of cool? Beatrice is really cool because of the fact that, like I said, it sends Banshee for Zombie World for like one of your worst matchups, which is the Fluandereeze deck. But the fact that it can send Transaction Rollback for the Mayakashi trap, which the Transaction Rollback, if you don't know, can copy the trap card's effect while ignoring the cost of a card. So you don't have to tribute a Mayakashi monster or a Shirinu monster to like activate this. You can just Transaction Rollback, copy it, and then your opponent and you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn from the hand deck or the extra deck. So really strong. But what's really cool about this card is that the lock doesn't actually banner for you, because you can still summon from the graveyard, actually, right? So like your chamber is still live after you activate this card. So that's something to like think about. And like you can still Yama, you know, bring back a monster from this card's restriction, right? So, and obviously you can set cards like D barrier, because like you would Beatrice the trap on your turn, and then on your opponent's turn you would activate Beatrice, send the transaction rollback. You probably would send the transaction rollback on your own turn, because you can also consider copying like maybe like an Unchained trap like chamber, right? And then like, you know, copy the chamber effect, bring back something. So pretty sweet. Let's see. So the other thing you can also look into is Ready Fusion, right? So this is a card that allows you to summon Soul Hunter, which is a vanilla 6 fiend dark monster. So this allows you to make like Caesar. It's a 6 fiend to make like Yama with, but I don't think it's that good. I think it's the fact that it can make Beatrice is what I would look into a little bit more. But I hope you guys enjoy this little discussion about what I kind of found as I was like, you know, play testing, and maybe this is helpful for you as you start to look into what deck you want to play. I think this is one of the takes you can, you know, play Unchained with. If you want a deck to be even more consistent, I would definitely cut a couple cards and put in 3 Torghad as well, because and you don't have to even play Rhino, because you can Torghad for Rakea, and maybe that's fine as well, right? So or Torghad for Arula. So something to consider. Definitely give this deck a shot. I really like Unchained, one of my favorite decks of all time, and I figured I'd just share some highlights, some insight that I got as I was playtesting. So hope this helps you, and let me know in the comment section below if you enjoyed it. Thanks. Peace.